I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop. Today we're not going to fix anything. I want to show you my new snapper I bought. Well, it's not new, it's just new to me. This is the first snapper that Briggs & Stratton built after they bought the company. This is the first and worst snapper they ever made. This is a 2013. According to all the dealers, this was the worst mistake they ever came up with. The dealer I have dealt with for I don't know how many years told me that about 10 years ago, Briggs & Stratton was in trouble. Nobody wanted to buy their engines and put them on their machines. So Briggs come up with this idea, well, if they won't put our engines on their machines, we'll put our engines on our machines. And they bought about 6 or 8 companies. That's why when you go to like different places like Lowe's, Menards, Walmart, Home Depot, I don't know what brand they sell right offhand, but they all look similar to this machine because Briggs & Stratton builds them all. So we're just going to go a walk around this thing, kind of look it over. And I bought it from Jason that lives over by Flint, some little town I can't even pronounce. I bought it knowing that it didn't run. He said, I'm not a tinkerer. I don't have time to tinker with it. I just want to sell it. He said the neighbor took it and messed with it for a while and he got it so it was running. But now it's not again. And I bought it knowing that it didn't run. So my question is, did I buy a jewel or did I buy a lemon? We're going to completely tear this thing apart, just like I did to my Boss's 2012, and we're going to see all the bad points and all the good points that they came up with on this. Now, after I get it completely disassembled, if I see that it's just not worth fixing, we're going to sell all the parts, and that includes the engine, if it runs. So let me grab the camera and we'll go over here and look at this thing. Okay, this is going to be kind of hard to do because I can't zoom out any farther. This is as far away as I can get to it. It doesn't look in bad shape. The seat's almost perfect. There is no cracks or rips in it. The steering wheel looks good. It does have some issues as far as play, and we'll figure out what that is. The body does not flex like the old snappers did. It has a split front end on it, and it pivots in a center point instead of the whole machine pivoting on the tube. Let me come here to the back. Here's the engine. And the gas tank is up above. I don't know, that probably looks like about a 3-gallon tank to me. That's kind of nice. It's got the same drive that the old snappers had in it. Now, as they built the newer ones, they have 2 different styles in the same year. You can get the traditional rear end or drivetrain with the clutch disc and the chain case, or you can get a hydrostatic rear end and put in it. The only problem with them is they're typically not rebuildable. They are crimped together and you can't get them apart. As far as overall looks, I like the way they built the back end. Yeah, I think it looks kind of, I don't know, dressy compared to the old snappers. The front tray where your feet go, I think they could have made that a little more streamlined. It just looks kind of wide and big and bulky to me. But I haven't ran it yet, so I don't know how it runs. But we'll find that out when I get it put back together next spring, if I put it back together. I'm a little shaky, sorry. But this is what it looks like. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the description box below. And some of the I didn't get a book. That's the only problem. This lever here engages the mower deck. And then of course you have the single clutch brake pedal here. And you have to push that all the way down and lock it like the 2012s do so you can start it. Or you have to just hold it down with your foot. Now if you want to get off of it when it's running, I understand that you have to push that down. The little red knob there on the steering column is what you lock the pedal down with. Then you can get off of the seat without it stalling on you. To back up and mow at the same time, you have to twist this little yellow switch. That's actually a key that pulls out. So if you have a youngster mowing your yard, you can stop him from mowing when you go backwards. But that's it. That's what they look like. And we're going to find out what they look like on the inside when we start tearing this apart. So that's what it looks like. My camera's not adjusted very good. So let me know what you think. We'll tear it apart and see how they cheapen them up and what they really did to them to make them get the reputation that they have. I've talked to some dealers that still sell them. The dealer I drove down to Indiana to get my bagger has one of these on the floor, brand new. It must be a 2017, I think, or maybe an 18. I don't know. But it's all shiny and clean, and he says, yeah, it's nice looking, but he said, honestly, I wouldn't sell it to you. He said, I wouldn't feel right. Other dealers I've talked to, mechanics that work in a dealership, none of them around here sell them. But they've said, they kind of looked around and said, we sell them on Monday, they're back on Wednesday needing repairs. So we're going to find out what the big problem is with them and what we can do to fix them. A friend of my boss's that I rebuilt his neighbor has a 2013. He said there was a couple issues. I had to replace the ignition switch twice and something else he had to do to it. Oh, the speed control for your ground speed. Your old snappers. I got my 2012 sitting over here. It has detents where you shift into the next gear. These, they got away from that. They stiffened up the spring on the shift lever. And you just, once you get it out of neutral into first, you just slide this thing up and down to go faster or slower, and it's supposed to stay there. His didn't. He said, I put it first and I'm mowing around the yard, and the next thing I know, I look down, I'm in fifth gear. So he actually took a die grinder and ground grooves into that, I don't know what you'd want to even call it, hood, I guess. So he had detents again. He says that took care of the problem. So let me know, like I said, what you think. If it's going to be repairable, if it can't repair it, we're going to sell a lot of parts. And put it on the description below or in the send me an email. I don't care. I guess that's it. So until next time, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon.